So I just checked my emails and stuff, and it looks like I am permanently banned from Twitter because I broke the content or the rules or whatever. Which I didn't. Right? I didn't promote violence. I didn't dox anybody or anything like that. But yeah, I'm perma banned from it. And I see a lot of people lately talking about new legislation that they want to put forth, like James Allsap or whatever. He's talking about this one, I don't know, governor or something that wants to enact this legislation, right, that protects freedom of speech online. But honestly, I don't think that is going to work because that only affects Americans, essentially. And a lot of the reasons they're doing this censoring right now and, really tamping down on it is because of Europe, right? It's because of Angela Merkel. It's because of all the fines that they're going to incur if they don't do this, right? Like, obviously, Jack and whatnot are left wing too, so they don't really care that much about censoring these people either. They probably agree with it, but one of the reasons they're really working hard on doing it now is because they don't want to pay $100 million fine from the European Union if they don't remove hateful content after a fucking week. So making it allowed America isn't really going to change anything because they're still going to have these laws internationally, right? And if they're going to have to pay $100 million fine, they're going to listen to that country first, right? That's a huge market that they don't want to evacuate necessarily. So maybe your law will maybe protect Americans' rights, but maybe not even, because that's an international site. Once you're on there and you're writing shit, somebody from Germany could see it, and then the German government be like, no, I don't want that on here because blah blah blah, and if you don't take it off, we're going to fine you. So they will take it off for them. They will censor it for Germany. So unless Germany has some new leadership or something eventually in the future and changes these laws, then nothing is really going to change, right? Even if you pass a law in America, I don't think it's going to do anything. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it will do something. Hopefully, but I don't know. I think the best thing to do is just to build up other sites and make them competitive, right? People act like Twitter and stuff, they're like a monolith. Like they're never going to fall. They're always going to be on top. But this company has only been around for, like, I don't know, 10 years, right? And does anybody remember MySpace and stuff? Like, that was one of the biggest fucking sites. Now it isn't. And things can get really popular from a small, start, right? Look at Vice. It is a horrible fucking network now, right? It's terrible. But they started off very small in competing against huge competitors, right? So they just had something that the competitors weren't offering, and then now they're massive. They're one of the biggest news agencies out there, right? So things do change. And, it's kind of a war of attrition. We just got to wait it out, popularize these other sites, and over time, they will get more popular because trying to censor us and stuff is going to have a Streisand effect. Like, even when they did, I think they removed the site Daily Stormer or whatever, their traffic dramatically increased once it was removed, right? It was from like 10,000, and once they removed it, then they literally doubled their fucking audience, right? So this will have a negative effect by silencing people in the future, and it's going to have the Streisand effect because it is already happening, right? And if I'm getting banned from Twitter, that means that other just regular Trump supporter type people who are not super racist and shit are going to get banned. And eventually it's just going to be a huge bubble on the left, and people will start to come over to Gab, because honestly, I've already seen in Gab there are left-wing people now, I've noticed, and they're fighting with some alt-right people and stuff, and they're arguing with them and stuff. So I do see it now, and it's only a matter of time before more people go on there. And it people like things that are taboo, right? Gab, by by deeming it, by the media, like completely deeming it like an alt-right site, all these things, they've made it more enticing to people. Now people are going to go on there to see what are these people saying? And then they're gonna look, and then some of the shit is pretty crazy, but some of the shit is not, and they're gonna be like, like this is pretty legitimate. Like, this is interesting, right? People don't like to just live in a bubble necessarily. They don't always like to just have their biases fed to them. They do like to be challenged. So they will be challenged, at least on this site, because they're not going to be challenged on Twitter. If they purge everybody that's on the right and stuff, they're just going to be like, even the average leftist or average liberal is just going to be inundated with fucking leftist propaganda that even they're not going to be able to handle. They're going to need some type of outlet, right? And they're gonna go on Gab. They're gonna go on Minds, and it's only a matter of time. So, it does suck. Yes, there's such a huge reach on Twitter and all these things. It's very good for following news and stuff, but it's not the end all or be all. There will be other sites that do usurp it and do take it over in a matter of time, and like it will eventually happen, right? Especially with the way they're going now, right? What they really want to do, essentially, in my opinion, is this isn't necessarily even about alt-right people. It's not about the white nationalists, etc. It's really what the European Union, what Twitter and stuff they're trying to do is they're trying to censor people who are speaking out against the liberal narrative that is being spewed out into the world right now. Because I'm not saying anything racist and shit, but I'm just speaking out against like globalists and talking how possibly like Islam is not very compatible with Western cultures and stuff like that. So if that is fucking hate speech, then more people, tons of people are going to be fucking banned, right? Tons. It's just going to take a matter of time, and yeah, like we need to challenge ourselves. As soon as we're no longer being challenged, we're going to lose interest, right? And Twitter a few years ago was pretty sweet. There was a lot of different opinions. There were some hateful people, not hateful people, whatever. But you all gotta argue, hash it out, and it was better, right? But now you can't say anything, right? Like, even before I got suspended, like, I'd dramatically censor what I was saying, because anytime I said fuck once or twice to somebody I didn't follow, I would get suspended for like a fucking week or 24 hours, which is ridiculous. So this algorithm is eventually going to catch a lot of liberals too. And yes, they don't listen to conservatives. They only listen to liberals, and when it comes to Twitter and stuff. So once enough of them start bitching, then possibly they'll reconsider changing it back, but I don't know. I don't have much hope. I think that the only option is to build up competitors. Let's go back to the free market. We don't need legislation. We don't need more regulation. I'm usually against regulation 99% of the time. Maybe in this circumstance there could be a possibility that could work, but like I said, it's international. You're trying to impose these regulations on an international company, and unless you're going to fine them heavily, more so than in Europe, right? If you're like, hey, if you break these, if you don't allow people to say freedom of speech, we're going to charge you $200 million as opposed to $100 million, then maybe. But eventually, then it's just going to be like an arms race of like how much they can charge each other. So, maybe that would help hasten the demise of Twitter if they did pass this legislation. But I think it's not going to work. It doesn't have really any teeth for it to work. So yeah, like Twitter's great. I like Twitter. I want to use it too. But let's just build up Gab and Minds and BitChute and all these other platforms if we can. And if you want to follow me on there, I'm on BitChute, I'm on Minds, I'm on Gab, and hopefully we can just keep getting more people over there. And hopefully, as soon as a few larger groups start to go on there, then others will follow, right? As soon as there's one or two news agencies that go on there, others will follow. But that could take a while, right? That could take a couple years. So essentially just wait it out. It's a war of attrition, and there's still other means to get information, and it does suck. Like Twitter is a massive reach, right? Like we can't downplay the impact that Twitter has, right? Because it's connected to millions upon millions and millions of people. So that is a very good avenue how to get ideas across into the public. And now they have completely hampered it by putting us on Gab and Minds, because now it's a lot harder to reach the average normie. And that's essentially what they're trying to stop us from doing, is reaching the normies, because there are tons of partisans out there. Doesn't matter what information you show them, they're never going to change their opinion. But there are lots of people that are moderate, that are normies, that don't really pay attention, but that are able to have their opinions changed, right? If they're just presented with new information. But now they're not going to see that information unless they go on Gab and Minds, right? Which those sites have been completely demonized by the media already. If the media did not demonize these sites right from the beginning, then other news agencies would have been on there, and it would have been a good competitor. It could have competed. A lot of these sites could have competed and could still compete, but it has definitely been hampered by the media, and they're demonizing it continuously. But that's sorry, that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and follow me on Gab's Minds and whatever. But take it easy. See ya.